This has been a tricky one to review, mainly because of the seat. I'd been planning this trip for several months. I'd read several articles about it, about this new seat that they've installed, and I don't know. Let me just go over the review and for the next few minutes, and then I'll have my thoughts on the seat. It's just, I don't know at this point whether I like it or not, but I'll tell you about it and you can decide for yourselves whether you think it's a good idea or this is just completely crazy.
And away we go. The seat is what it's all about. Take a close look to see if it would work for you. The privacy is pretty good with these seats. That part I do like. A rotatable personal light, easy to control. Lots of light if you have a window seat. And you will need these pillows, trust me. Standard controls, although very little mechanical controls on this flight. And the display, a lot of room. There's like 2 hands high. This cubby hole is where you're going to be putting the lower half of your body later. A nice amount of storage on the side. And a little surprise, a bottle of water tucked down in there. A waste, I know. Wireless charging. This is a good idea. When business class passengers are separated from the rest of the economy, overhead storage isn't a problem. They include some slippers. I made use of these. And we have headphones. These are Bose, I believe noise canceling. They work okay. Not the greatest fit, but pretty nice. And the standard Amenity kit, which is 95% waste. I don't care for these, but we all expect them now, I suppose. And the little pad that goes under you to help keep you, I don't know, comfortable. Works pretty well. And of course, the regular comforter that they include, nicely wrapped up. Another look at the seat, and that little bottom section is the only electronic part, or moving part, I should say. I filled this thing up so much I wasn't able to close it and I had to move some things out of there. Of course, we gotta have our complimentary glass of champagne before takeoff.
Kone saapui myöhässä edelliseltä lennolta. Kuormaus on vielä hetken kesken.
I have to say that with the size of the monitor and the nice amount of entertainment, it was a really good entertainment system. I like this. It's easy to operate and scroll through, either with your finger or using the remote, and a lot of entertainment to choose from. They did a good job here. I hardly watched any of it, of course. Is Bear Grylls still around? You also get some good information about the airport you're going to be arriving in and any transfer information if you need it. And of course, a lot of information about the flight. I even looked up what my seat could do. One thing notably missing was a printed menu. They had some stuff on the display, but I really wanted to see what I was getting for food. Over to the side of the seat, you get a little hidden panel that you can put a few things in. Doesn't work for charging while you're taking off, but there's some space. Put a few items there for storage. I took the remote out to kind of try it, and I had a devil of a time trying to put that thing back in. Those little wires are tricky sometimes. And to reiterate, the thickness of the comforter was okay. Could have been a little thicker, but the plane's a decent temperature, so I didn't need that warm of a blanket. Luckily, the little, I don't know what you would call this thing, this kind of pad, I guess, does have a little note to say what end is for your feet in case you can't figure that out on your own. Time for the amenity kit. We have an eye mask. It's okay. I still recommend bringing your own silk one. Let's see what else. Earplugs. Never hurts to have an extra pair of those around. We have a toothbrush with pretty much a single-use toothpaste. I think it's supposed to be biodegradable. I have my doubts on that. And a little kit of some lip care and face lotion. These items, I don't know, it's hard to say. The lip care wasn't very good, or just weird to come out in such a way. I'd rather have it in a normal chapstick tube. And the facial cream, I don't think I kept either one of these. And I happen to notice that this thing slides out and slides right back in again. It took me a while to figure that out. A little bit of air conditioning control and the light from above, pretty standard.
Make sure your armrest is in the down position, your table is stowed, and your seat back is upright. Your window shade must be open. Remember to remote control and video screen are also stowed. If you're seated in business class, your safety belt is fastened by pulling the belt over your lap.
This part is cool. You can ask for socks, a brush, a razor, or maybe more toothpaste. I guess it just saves the environment when you do it this way. Good idea. And finally, we were able to start moving on the runways. It took some doing, but I finally got everything squared away so I was acceptable for takeoff, my feet firmly on the floor, and the seat in, I guess, a regular position. Moving a little more, we're making our way down to one of the main runways. We are now getting closer. A bit of traffic on the runways in front of us, several planes. And a cool feature, you can watch yourself on the runway and see your takeoff. Hey, I recognize that city. I'll be leaving there and returning in a week. This footage was not quite as sharp. Something you don't like to see on runways. All right, moving along, I get my stats. I like having the stats ready to go. It's kind of a nice feature that they do these days on some flights. All right, now we're moving, and I've kind of sped this up, of course. No need to waste time seeing planes take off. You've probably seen that many times. And we are finally in the air. Bring on the wine. The aircraft also has a down-facing camera, which is a nice touch. Although the instructions were backwards. Downward was facing out, and out was facing downward. A little bit of a programming error. Always nice to have a fresh horizon in front of me, or on the side. I'll see you later, New York City. Now that we're airborne, I can finally plug in my charger and the standard hot towel. I do like the hot towel. Let's check out the lavatory. It's pretty standard. Lots of lotion and soap. The hot water, really nice. Got hot very quickly. A decent amount of room. I like it. I actually thought they did a good job on this one. Nothing fancy, no flourishes. As I said, there's only one mechanical or electrical moving component, and that's the little tiny leg rest that kind of comes up, and then you move the other one into place manually and you've got your bed. Let's check out how this works. I hate the proprietary plugs, but whatever. And I was very happy to see the wine menu, some good choices there. I think I tried all 3 of them. Why not? Now they give you 1 hour of free internet for business class, but you have to pay for the rest. Kind of annoying. I actually sat through the entire seat video because I was just curious if there's any special features I was missing out on. Nope, I wasn't missing a thing. After cruising a little while, the flight attendant laid out a nice napkin and I was ready for my first meal. I gotta say, this was very good. They brought by the fine wine so I could check them out and make note. And I, of course, grabbed a glass or 2. And again, there wasn't a menu, so I didn't know exactly what I had, but some really good veggies, a roll, a little bit of rice, and I don't know. I forgot what that was. And a bit of sushi. It was really good. I just couldn't eat all of it. You get real silverware in a napkin and a toothpick hidden in there somewhere. One nice feature is you can slide your meal out nice and close to you, and if you need to use the restroom, not a problem, just slide it back away from you so you don't have to finish your meal before using the restroom. The vegetables were exceptional, probably the best part. The wines were great. I wish I knew what I got there, and I ate most of the sushi. So a great dining experience, plenty of food, the flight attendants were attentive, the food very good, plenty of room. I do wish the chair had a little bit more support, but I've mentioned that before. But overall, I really enjoyed the meal. I was full at this point, but there was a key lime pie dessert. I had to, of course, try that. I should note that when it's dark, your seat number lights up. And there I am catching some Z's for the next few hours. I slept pretty well. But soon they were raising the lights and serving breakfast. So we have a nice little quiche, a croissant, some cheeses, some fruit, yogurt, and a roll. Way too much for me to eat. And water. Yeah, I wish I had more appetite, but that other meal filled me up really well, and all the wine, so I couldn't even eat half of this, which was too bad. It looked good. So I ate breakfast in pretty much the same way I had dinner, seated up in my chair and just kind of lightly picking at everything I had. I didn't want to waste anything, but I just had zero appetite at this point. And if you're curious what Finland looks like when it's not winter, there we go. This is May, and it's pretty green, I must say. Yeah, lots of water, lots of trees. This is Finland, and we are approaching Helsinki. And looking through the front camera, I believe there's a runway up ahead. Hopefully we are headed towards that. Closer, closer, Clarice. All right, I think we're about to touch down. There we are, 8 hours later at Helsinki Airport. The time just goes by way too fast. And how much would you expect to pay for all this? Well, it was May 23rd, 2022, New York to Helsinki, $25 and 70,000 miles.
Well, I gave it some thought, and I don't like it. I don't like the seat. It's like sitting against a wall. I go home, sit against a wall, like carpet and a wall, and then see if a few pillows make it actually more comfortable to sit against this wall. It's just kind of a weird thing. I'd rather be in a seat that supports my back. My back was kind of sore. Would this stop me from taking another FinnAir business class flight? No, especially if there are no other options. It is a lot of miles, 70,000 miles, so there's that part to consider, but at least that was through Alaska Airlines One World Alliance. I have both things created equal. I would take an airline with a better seat that supports my back. It's just, as a seat, I kind of find it awful, but otherwise, the food's good. There's a fair amount of privacy in these seats. I guess that's the one positive thing. It's just not comfortable. It's just a weird thing. Who knows how long they're going to do this for, but it's an interesting experiment. So maybe if enough people love it, then they'll keep it. But for me, I'd say, nah, give me a seat that supports my back.